Once upon a time, and this is only a story, there were two brothers, Muslim A and Muslim B. Muslim A and Muslim B both read the Qur'an. Both knew that they would have to do business. Muslim A committed to remaining focused on the spirit of the law, such as in يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَا وَيُرْبِي الصَّدَقَاتِ وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ كَفَّارٍ أَثِيمٍ. Muslim B was encouraged to succeed in the world by verses like فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. While permitting his merchants and investors to conduct trade and look for business opportunities, Muslim A chose to concentrate on the social side of wealth. His Baitul Mal was placed in a prominent position next to all commercial transactions, issuing interest-free loans with the support of the leading magnates in each community and promoting the solidarity and mutual understanding that came with emphasis on each member contributing to the welfare of the whole. The poor were never too poor. They had a chance to advance. The rich were never too rich. They felt the pain of the poor. This emphasis was an institutional choice that Muslim A made at the outset. Meanwhile, Muslim B was very successful with his laissez-faire model of Islam. The duty to pay zakat and the importance of charity were constantly repeated in Friday sermons, but implementation was left to each worshipper's conscience. The leadership was concerned, however, with how Islam would survive once it went head-to-head against non-Muslim businesses. More than anything else, Muslim B was worried about the slight advantage that his neighbors had in terms of capital accumulation and entrepreneurial activity. He had two neighbors, Kafir C and Kafir PJ. Kafir C was Catholic and knew that the church frowned on usury. So he was hesitant to profit from loans to his Catholic friends, hoping that his leniency and compassion would be rewarded by God, as per Matthew 5:42. Give to one who begs from you, and do not turn away from one who borrows. Kafir PJ, meanwhile, was Protestant or Jewish, and believed that since the New Testament did not ban interest outright, there was no harm in it. His clients got big loans from banks to invest in their enterprises. Many went under, but a few profited immensely from the extra capital they obtained and worked harder to pay it back because of the interest. Kafir PJ banks were motivated to encourage more borrowing of this sort and favored the big borrowers who, in turn, worked even harder to justify these loans. Muslim B noticed how Kafir PJ was outcompeting his merchants at every turn. They had more money to work with, worked harder, and were constantly thinking of new ways to build on their success. He saw that his Muslim B businesses were rather relaxed, doing things the old way, and trying to keep their Islam in line with the text of the Qur'an and the sermons they heard every week. Muslim A, meanwhile, was way behind. It was clear that his community was cohesive, hardworking, and environmentally responsible. They took what they needed to get ahead, but gave as much as they could to bring the disadvantaged up with them. And this took time and patience. The mosques and markets were full, and the people were not too worried about how much wealthier Kafir C and Kafir PJ were. We are blessed by Allah for putting charity at the center of our lives, they used to say. Muslim B, however, saw the writing on the wall of worldly success. He consulted with his band of scholars. you can see how great things are going for Kafir PJ. His economic output is enormous, and it's mainly because he's been making money out of money. Can we invent something like that? After puzzling over this for some time, the scholars came back with a response. With the right Arabic terms and some sophisticated reasoning, we too can get involved in practically any transaction. A loan for a car, buying a house, providing insurance, and it will still be halal. Okay, but will it make money? If it's a loan, we enter as a third party and call it murabaha. If it's a mortgage, we turn it into an investment and, abracadabra, it's musharaka. And for insurance, we call the pool of investors a community. And lo and behold, we have takaful. I see, very nice. But I asked you, will it be profitable? Can we make as much money from these schemes as Kafir PJ does from his straightforward interest and insurance? Yes, inshallah. And will all this be productive? I mean, will the community as a whole become wealthier? Well, strictly speaking, making money from money is not productive in itself. But it will make the productive elements in society work harder, exploit more resources, and charge higher prices because everyone has to pay these extra fees. Due to that pressure, more women will have to go out to work. Maybe that's a good thing. You know, Muslim women have been oppressed for so long. And the lenders will become insanely rich since they don't really have to do anything. They're just lending and collecting and their share of the profits. So, said Muslim B, what are we going to call this great idea of yours? Let's just call it Islamic banking. Will God approve? And what do I get from all this? From Allah, let's not go there. But you and the people around you will be successful. We'll be rich at last. Muslim B decided to go ahead. His country took off like a rocket compared to Muslim A. They were building roads, erecting grand new mosques, creating giant wealth funds, digging up minerals, cutting down forests, dredging the ocean for its fish, buying the latest weapons, enjoying a lifestyle that their grandparents never dreamed of having, and advertising their success to the rest of the Muslim world. And the scholars who had been advising Muslim B got lucrative appointments in the Islamic banks, finance companies, investment firms, and insurance conglomerates they helped set up. They were not actually making anything, except a lot of money, hand over fist, and a lot of high-class fatwa. But GDP goes up when used to measure any money-making venture, so things worked out just fine. Almost. Somehow, they never quite caught up to Kafir PJ, or even Kafir C, since he had gradually realized that his Catholic faith was getting in the way. For Kafir PJ had had hundreds of years of practice and experience and knew all the ins and outs of interest, derivatives, stock trading, portfolios, bonds, mutual funds, and other complex ways of juggling money. He had acquired a controlling stake in the global economy. Kafir PJ allowed Muslim B to have a few nice morsels on the periphery of this empire, and it was definitely helpful that Muslim B was such an eager student. One day, Kafir PJ took Muslim B aside, keeping his voice low. Too bad about your brother. What are you talking about? Do you mean Muslim A? Yes. I'm advising you as a friend and partner in many of your enterprises. Your brother is going under. What? We've noticed that his country is not at all prosperous. The people there are getting restless. They want to know why Muslim A is not doing for his people what you are doing in your country. Okay, so let them be. They'll figure it out somehow. No, you don't understand. The world doesn't work like that. When there's a business opportunity, you can't stop. It's the logic of the market. The shareholders demand it, and as you know, they are never satisfied with enough. You have to go in and take what you can before someone else does. So why are you telling me? Said Muslim B. Just as a favor and because I like you, replied Kafir PJ. This is a tip. You're his brother. You know how to go about it, what to say, how to dress it up in Islamic language. We'll be your silent partner, hiding behind you to make sure that it's as smooth and painless as possible. Muslim B gulped, and there were tears in his eyes. But I love my brother. I know. Just think about what I said. I can't hold the others back much longer. A few days later, Muslim B went to Muslim A. Hey bro, how are you doing? Alhamdulillah, replied Muslim A. We're facing some challenges from the amount of stupid online trash and get-rich schemes the people are bombarded with. But we are still spiritually healthier than most of our Muslim neighbors. You can see how our emphasis on charity does wonders. Oh, brother, you poor fool. What's happening to you? Said Muslim B. Have you no shame? Your food, your clothing, your customs, your mosques, they're all so basic, so quaint, so third world. Can't you see? What about that woman over there washing clothes by hand? Who? Where? Said Muslim A and turned around to look. Muslim B pulled out his knife. Bismillah, he whispered to himself. But this is only a story.